Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. So this particular video, I've already shown the sketch version of this, so forgive me, it's a bit redundant, but I wanted to show the full process of this Wolverine art that I just did on the iPad Pro in Procreate. So what you're watching here, if you don't already know, is a time lapse that you get right out of Procreate that captures your every mark, I believe, that you make on the screen. So I decided to do this Wolverine piece. I saw this artwork by Mike Zeck, and I thought it was really well done, and I was like, I want to do that, but do my own spin on it and give it a little bit of, give it a little bit of my own flair or whatever. But really amazing artist, really amazing work, so I suggest you check his stuff out, and you'll know the pose and the shot that, you'll be able to see where this came from. So at any rate, my main focus of this one was like, all right, I want to do a Wolverine shot. Every now and then I want to do, Wolverine, Spider-Man. I'm a big Marvel fan. You probably know if you watch the channel. And, so every now and then I revisit these characters and try to do something new and fresh with them. And lately I've been on this kick where I really want to see what I can do with the iPad Pro and Procreate. So this was my first time, I don't know my first, but one of my first where I take it to a full finished piece, all in that same program. So generally I'll like pencil on this, maybe ink in Manga Studio or, or color in Photoshop. But this one was all done in Procreate. And I'm really excited about that because it's saying that, you can use this device on the go, the iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, just so you know that's the hardware I'm using with Procreate here. And I'm able to do it on the move. And at first I was thinking, well, I could do some pretty nice drawing on it, but I couldn't get like the comic feel that I wanted, the inking and the coloring. The coloring came second. But the inking I was real particular on because I'm so used to inking in Manga Studio, which is just fantastic, and I still don't think it's quite to that level, but there's some pros and cons to each, and I'll try to touch on those as I walk you through this or talk about the process of this one. So the sketching is already, to me, almost second to none on this device and this setup. It's got a very traditional feel, and the fact that you're portable and the battery life's great. We've talked about all that, and it's fantastic. So I was pretty happy with the sketch, and then that compelled me to want to take it further and do the inks. And the inks have been a little bit tricky for me to get right, and we'll get to that here in a bit. And actually, I jump ship a bit, and I actually go to color first, because sometimes when I probably could have just tightened up these pencils and filled in the bad stroke lines or whatever you see there, the parts I didn't fill in properly. And I probably could have just took this to color, but I was like, no, I want to do this just how I would do it traditionally, or just how I would do it even in Manga Studio, which I now consider traditional by my means or whatever, even though it's not per se traditional art, it's digital art. All right, so I carry it through to that, and I take all the same steps. I blue line the sketch. I start refining it with a more detailed brush, and even though you can't see me zooming in, I'm obviously zooming in to do little details like his little beard there and stuff like that. So I try to make these tools work as traditional as possible, especially because that was my big reason for getting an iPad Pro, is because I'm like, hey, I'm going to be on the go now. I can sketch like I'm holding a sketch pad. So to me, it's like I want to make that thing work as traditional as possible. So here's me dropping in the colors, and then I start adding in some highlights with the soft brush and color effects and things. And then that's when I'm like, no, I got to ink this. It's not going to look as clean if I don't. And then plus it'll give me the opportunity to see if I really can make this look like comic art on this device. So I just start inking away, and I'm using the Tech pen, a little bit modified, because at first I was getting a little bit more of a loose end to the pen tip as I do the stroke or whatever. And it's still not perfect. You'll see when I get to the cross-hatching lines that it's still a little off. I'm still trying to tweak it. And once I tweak it to the fullest and I feel it's really good, I'll share whatever setting changes I get, like I do always. But the one thing I really like about the brush feel and the inking feel on this is it's got this nice fluidity or organic feel. It's almost like that feeling you get with a crow quill where the ink kind of spreads a little bit and you kind of use that to your advantage, or a brush, you put it down and you get like a nice thick line to your thin line and all that with one pull. And that's kind of where I got the settings of the brush. It's not perfect, and it's still not it's not going to be traditional. It's still a little bit of a workaround, but it does have a pretty good feel. I mean, and I'm not some, you know, inking master where I've inked for, I mean, I've done a lot of inking, don't get me wrong, but I'm not somebody that does like the crow quill, the brush, and all the effects all tied together on one page. I just kind of do my thing to get it done, and that's what you're seeing here. So I was real quick to go to digital because crow quills were kind of a pain for me. I love the effect, but they were just a mess, and I don't like getting messy, whatever, So it's like digital was like just calling my name. So at any rate, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get that effect where it looks pretty traditional. It's not going to look as good, but pretty darn close. And speed's always a factor. And I think I did this whole thing, pencils, inks, and colors, in under 3 hours. I mean, it might have been 4, but I doubt it. I think it was 3 because the sketch went really fast. I know that much. It just didn't take me very long at all to do the sketch. And then the inks probably took the longest. Colors really quick, because I didn't really do a very advanced coloring job on this. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the speed turnaround of it versus the quality. And then, like I said, my biggest thing with this one was getting those inks to look right, and I feel like they came pretty darn close. I use layers as I'm adding these little crosshatch effects because I sometimes don't know if I'll get the right kind of look to the lines. And you can see the lines got a little bit of waviness to them, but in all honesty, I think that kind of adds to the traditional look of it, so I kind of went with it because if they look a little bit too clean or too straight, they look like they were all rulered out or something. Some inkers, like, you got guys like Scott Williams, people like that just do amazing lines that look like everything was really not rulered, but, just really crafted out. But, then you got other styles where it's a lot more organic feeling, and that's kind of the feeling I thought would be necessary, or, kind of go with the technology or the feel of the brush and everything that I was using here. But yeah, so I mean, at any rate, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's like, yeah, can it get better? Of course, but I've only been using this device for a few months now. I think I'd have to look at the calendar, but it's already feeling like I can do some pretty finished work. Now, could I compile a whole book in this? Probably not. I mean, there's just too many things that go into making a comic, word balloons and page compiling all the pages and all that stuff. So I wouldn't say it's quite to the level where I could do a complete book on it, unless I somehow used an outside program online to compile stuff, which I'm sure that's probably out there. I just don't know. But so that each time you completed a panel per se, that maybe you uploaded it to some other outside cloud-based app and then did some word balloons. I don't know, or just send it to a guy that compiles it and does the word balloons, or however you work. But what I'm saying is that for the scene creation, it can be done. I mean, this is hopefully proof of that. And then you can see I start adding some color effects here, and I suck at colors, so it's like, and I'm not afraid to say it. I like the black and white. I do color for you guys because I know that people like to see the finished art. I actually just like it in black and white. I've always been that way, but I try to color just to give you guys what you want. So hopefully you see that and are appreciative of that. So this is wrapping it up. So I just wanted to give you a look inside all that. Hopefully it's answered some questions for you. And if you got any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.